Hi, it's Deb from Deb's Days. It's Tutorial Tuesday, and today we're going to make this Raggedy Rustic Star Potholder. Before I get started, I publish new content each week, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And click the bell to get notified about the latest videos. Don't forget, check out debsdays.com for free sewing and crafting patterns and links to more sewing and crafting tutorials. If you're a cruiser, I've got you covered there too. Check out my cruising resources section. You'll find cruise tips, trip reports, port and ship specific articles, and plenty of photos. All right, let's get started. This really is one of the easiest potholders I've ever put together. We first need a front fabric and a backing fabric. I'm using red and blue. These will be cut 9.5 inches by 9.5 inches. And then you need some batting for the potholder. I'm using one piece of cotton batting, 9.5 by 9.5. And then I'm using something called Insul-Bright. It has some insulating properties. You might be able to see it has a little foily look to it to protect your hands a little bit more for a potholder. So that's 9.5. So front and back, and then 2 layers of this. All of this needs to be cotton. The batting needs to be cotton, and the fabric has got to be 100% cotton because you're going to be using it for high heat uses. And then we're going to need the star template downloaded from debsdays.com, and then we're going to use that for our applique. And I've cut these 2 pieces, another piece of cotton fabric and another piece of cotton batting. I've cut those 8 inches by 8 inches. And then we're going to need some basting spray too. The template, along with the specific measurements for this project, are on debsdays.com. I've added a direct link in the description right below this video. First thing, let's make our potholder sandwich. I'm going to move some of this out of the way. I do need my cotton batting and my Insul-Bright and my front and my back. So we want to baste all of this together, so make sure you've protected your work surface first. If you have overspray from this, it can be kind of messy. So I'm going to put my back piece with the right side facing down. I'm going to put my batting. Actually, I think I'm going to go with the shiny side of the Insul-Bright facing down. You could do it anyway. I just think that'll work better for me. And then your cotton batting on top of that. And then your front piece of fabric, I'm going with blue. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray all these layers in between each layers to hold it together. Make sure you follow the directions on your basting spray. All right, I've basted all those layers together. They're all stuck together. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch all the way around using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'll be right back. All right, I loosely have done a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to kind of clip into these edges a little bit later. The next thing we need to do is grab our template from debsdays.com, and we're going to cut out our fabric for the star and the batting that we're using. But we first need to, again, get those adhered to each other before we do any cutting. So go ahead and get that sprayed. And I've cut out the template, so you can either pin it and trace it, or hold it and cut it, or whatever works best for you. Okay, there's my loosey-goosey cut. Now we need to put that on our potholder. I'm going to put it on the blue side, and you can either use a glue stick or a little bit more of the spray to hold that on, because we're going to be stitching this down to this. All right, I'm going to center it right there. Now I'm going to go over to my machine, and I'm going to do a 1/2 inch stitch all the way around here too. In hindsight, I probably should have used my walking foot because it's buckled a little bit. I think it's going to be okay though, because we're going to actually cut up into, not into, but up until we get to the stitching. Probably 1/2 inch all the way around here, and the star too. I'll show you what that looks like. So we're actually just cutting right up until we get to the stitching, but not the stitching. We could do 1/2 inch, you could do a 1/4 inch. You may find that your hands get tired, so you might want to go a little wider, a little smaller, up to you. But we're going to go all the way around the potholder, doing this all the way, all 4 sides. Right, and then I'll be back. All right, as you can see, I've done that all the way around. Now I'm going to do it with the star too. So same thing, cut about every 1/2 inch all the way around on the star too. Remember, don't cut into your stitching. All right, now here's where the magic happens. We're going to go toss this in the washing machine and then toss it in the dryer, and you'll have to see what happens to all these edges. All right, be back in quite a while.
And after a while in the dryer, it poofs right up. Now it may not be the prettiest thing, but it's workable, it's easy, and it's cheap to make. My kind of potholder.